state power, environment, and global economic gaps. You can adjust the language according to your preference. Choose the program that suits your needs from the playlist. Customize the subtitle position on your laptop, and adjust the video speed with the slider to suit your needs and comfort. Let's grow together through your subscribe and like on this video.
Modern democracy depends heavily on information. The media serves as a bridge between government institutions and the public. Journalists act as investigators, observers, and interpreters of political reality. Every reader depends on reliable reporting. Accurate reporting helps citizens understand policy decisions. It helps them evaluate leadership performance. It helps them form independent opinions. However, misinformation can create confusion. False narratives weaken democratic understanding. Responsible journalism strengthens public awareness. It strengthens democratic participation. Information must be verified before publication. Truth must remain the central objective. Public communication must remain transparent. Transparency builds trust. Trust sustains democratic stability. Justice systems serve as guardians of democracy. Courts interpret the law. They resolve disputes. They protect constitutional rights. Fair trial ensures equal treatment. Judicial independence is essential. Judges must remain impartial. They must resist political pressure. Legal institutions preserve order. They maintain accountability. Without justice, democratic systems collapse. Law enforcement agencies must act responsibly. They must protect citizens. They must uphold constitutional principles. Justice must remain blind to power. Justice must remain loyal to truth. Public protest represents an essential democratic right. Citizens express disagreement, they demand accountability, they call for reform. Peaceful protest strengthens democratic participation. However, political violence threatens stability. Violence destroys trust. Violence weakens institutions. Violence undermines legitimacy. Governments must protect peaceful expression. They must prevent unlawful aggression. Security forces must act proportionally. They must respect human rights. Public safety and civil liberty must coexist. Democracy requires balance. Balance requires wisdom. Balance requires responsibility. International cooperation strengthens national stability. Global challenges require shared solutions. Economic crises affect multiple nations. Environmental threats cross national borders. Diplomatic relations create mutual benefit. International agreements establish cooperation. Alliances promote peace. Alliances reduce conflict. Global stability depends on collaboration. No nation exists in isolation. Political leadership must engage internationally. Diplomacy builds bridges. Isolation builds weakness. Cooperation builds strength. Strength ensures survival. Democracy must adapt to global realities. Leadership must remain forward-looking. The future depends on wise decisions made today. Future of democracy depends on education. It depends on awareness. It depends on participation. Political systems evolve over time. They adapt to new realities. They respond to public expectations. However, democratic survival is not automatic. It requires constant engagement. Citizens must remain informed. They must remain active. They must hold institutions accountable. Leadership must embrace transparency. Transparency strengthens legitimacy. Legitimacy ensures stability. Stability allows development. Democracy is not simply a structure. It is a living process. It is shaped by the people. It is protected by responsibility. The next generation carries this responsibility forward. Their choices will determine the direction of governance. Their voices will shape policy. Their values will influence leadership standards. Ethical leadership remains the cornerstone of democratic trust. Public officials must act with integrity. They must reject corruption. must resist abuse of power. Accountability mechanisms must remain strong. Oversight institutions must operate independently. Transparency must not be selective. It must be consistent. Citizens evaluate leaders not only by promises, but by actions. Integrity builds credibility. Credibility builds confidence. Without ethical standards, governance deteriorates. Without accountability, democracy weakens. The strength of a nation depends not only on economic power or military capacity, but on moral leadership. Ethical governance inspires confidence. Confidence inspires cooperation. Cooperation strengthens democracy. Civic responsibility extends beyond voting. It includes dialogue. It includes advocacy. It includes community engagement. Democracy functions when citizens participate constructively. Public debate must remain respectful. Disagreement is natural. Division is not inevitable. Society must seek common ground. Compromise is not weakness. Compromise is governance in action. Political maturity requires patience. It requires listening. It requires understanding. Institutions alone cannot preserve democracy. People must preserve it. Participation transforms systems. Participation prevents stagnation. Participation ensures continuity. Democracy is a shared commitment. It is built on trust. It is sustained by law. It is strengthened by participation. Its future remains unwritten. Every generation inherits its institutions. Every generation shapes its direction. Political systems may face challenges. They may face economic pressure, may face global uncertainty. Yet resilience remains possible. Resilience emerges from unity. Unity emerges from shared values. Leadership must remain responsible. Citizens must remain vigilant. Democracy survives when both act with purpose. The future of governance is not determined by chance. It is determined by choices. It is determined by courage. It is determined by responsibility. And ultimately, it is determined by the people.
Have you ever wondered what really makes a country rich or poor? Is it natural resources? A strong military? A brilliant leader? While all those things can play a part, today we're going to dive into something far more fundamental. Something that works silently in the background, shaping our societies and our economies. We're talking about institutions, governance, and how they fuel economic growth. Now, when I say institutions, you might be thinking of big old buildings with columns out front. And you're not entirely wrong, but that's just a small piece of the puzzle. In economics and social science, institutions are the rules of the game. They're the formal laws, regulations, and constitutions, but also the informal social norms, traditions, and codes of conduct that we all live by. Think of things like property rights. The simple, powerful idea that what's yours is yours, and no one can just take it from you without a fair process. That's an institution. How about the court system? A place where you can settle disputes peacefully and enforce contracts. That's another one. These rules create predictability and trust, two absolute essentials for a thriving economy. Without them, why would anyone invest their time, money, and effort into starting a business or inventing something new if it could all be taken away in an instant? It's this foundation of trust that allows economies to move beyond simple face-to-face exchanges and build complex, long-term relationships. So, we have these rules. But rules are useless unless someone is there to create them, uphold them, and adapt them when needed. That's where governance comes in. Governance is the how decisions are made, how power is exercised, and how citizens have their say. Good governance isn't just about having elections. It's about transparency, accountability, and the rule of law. It means that leaders are accountable to the people, that government processes are open to public scrutiny, and that everyone, from the most powerful politician to the average citizen, is subject to the same laws. When governance is weak or corrupt, institutions crumble. Bribes might become more effective than contracts. Connections might matter more than merit. This uncertainty poisons the economic environment, scaring away investors and stifling innovation. No one wants to play a game where the referee is biased and the rules can change at any moment.